If you want your athletes to make an individual entry rather than bulk loading them in yourself, then head to the paid entry config page via manage, and all of the configuration for that aspect of it can be found on here. I'll run you through some of it now. So with regards to opening the entries, we can set an opening date. So let's say this opened on, well, let's say today. Closing date, we want people to be able to enter throughout the submission period as well, as this is a virtual race. So let's say until 23rd, and closing time of day. Race submission results will open until 12, so let's do it as the same, and we'll just set individual entry status to open. The fee currency will default to your country, so there's no need to put anything in here. Price per event, I'm going to leave this as 0 as it's a test event, but if you wanted to charge a fee, then you could input that in here. Per event surcharges. Now, if you want to make your event more expensive or cheaper for a certain club or age group, or have a certain event that costs more money, like if you want to make a 10k, it costs more than a 5k, then you can do that in here. So let's just do for a team. So let's say it's free for Belgrave, but Thames Hare and Hounds, they have to pay £1. So for every event that that a Thames Hare and Hounds member enters now, it will cost them £1, whereas for everyone else it will be 0. And if you did the same in this grid, it would just do it for the person. So if they entered 3 events, it would still only be £1 if you did it in this grid, as opposed to in this grid, it would be £3. As you can see, there's various different options. So you can do it on team, age group, event code, so that would be for all 10Ks, event ID, so that would be a specific 10K, and these are custom questions that you can filter answers on as well. So now we have price modification if you're doing more than one event. So you could say secondary event, and anything after that costs more or less than what the first one does. As this is free, I'm just going to leave it. Price modification for license. This is primarily based for road racing. So in the UK, for example, if you've got a mass road race, they would usually give you a £2 discount if you're licensed. Again, I'm just going to leave this one. Early discount date. If you want an early bird discount, set the date for the cutoff and the price reduction. You could even set a second date, second cutoff, and the price reduction for that one. Chargeable extras. I'm not sure of the relevance of this for virtual racing, but for usual track and field and racing, things like that, you might want to have a t-shirt sale as well. And then you could put in your sizes. So you've got small, medium and large, and then it could cost £5. So these will be options on the drop down when you go through the entry journey. Contact details. This is important. So you need to put your email address as opposed to anything else, or at least the email address of the person who's going to be in charge, as they should be the people that the entrants or the athletes contact first of all, rather than anyone else. And below this we have all of the help text. So add an athlete, you could write just click add athlete to start your entry or something like that, or you could, I'm just going to write start to type your name and click it if it appears. And then this is where you'll confirm if it's the right athlete. And then here is where you're choosing your club. So I'm going to start typing your club name and select it once it appears. If it's not listed, email us. Choose your events. It's self-explanatory. You can ignore step 4. Extra purchases relates to this one up here. Don't need any help text in there really. Additional info for step 6 isn't really required either. Charity to donations. So this is a new stage. So we're going to say probably this one here. With the ongoing COVID-19 crisis, we encourage you to make a charitable donation that will go to, and then you can just input your charity of choice. basket help text. Click confirm to confirm your entry. Seems silly, but we get a lot of people getting into their basket with their athletes there and then not confirming them and being confused as to why they're not in the participant list. Terms and conditions. So for this sort of thing, you might want to say, I agree to the social distancing guidelines and that sort of thing. But that's editable and you can put whatever you want in there. Qualifying performance and PB and SB isn't really relevant for virtual racing, but you could have it if you wanted. I mean, they're both fetched automatically from Power of 10 and Telastapire if your athlete exists in there, and it's just data stored if you want it displayed, but it's not really necessary for these events, and nor is emergency contact info or postal addresses really. If you're charging an entry fee, you can automatically assign a proportion of it to go to charity. I've put this one down as free, so I'll leave that as 0. Charity title though for donations, I'm just going to put as COVID-19 disaster charity. Then you can have a subtitle as well if you wanted, NHS funding for example, or whatever you want. And then a suggested donation, that will just automatically make £10 appear in the box for them to pay, but they can obviously edit that down or up as they wish. And then finally, custom questions. You can put in here whatever you want really. So you could say, do you agree to abide by social distancing rules? And then the drop down for type, we're going to say this is a text, and then we're just going to have the only option available is yes, and then we're going to make this required by ticking that there. So now when they get that question, they have to click yes or they cannot continue. But you can put different questions in here if you want to collect any data or anything like that. As we mentioned earlier, we can do customed surcharges based on some of those answers. And then finally, we just hit save. And you can see here, pricing configuration data saved successfully.